I'm a bride in my late 20s, and I've been dreaming about my wedding day since I was a little girl. Now that it's finally here, I'm pouring my heart into planning a traditional American ceremony that feels perfect for me and my fiancé, Tom. We want a day that's joyful, meaningful, and fair to both our families. For months, we've been knee-deep in decisions, picking a charming outdoor venue with fairy lights, choosing soft piano music for the ceremony, and crafting a budget that works. It's been exciting but stressful, with endless vendor meetings and late-night talks about guest lists. I love the chaos, though, because it's all for our big day. One thing we agreed on early was honoring both our moms equally. My mom, Susan, is my rock. She's warm, supportive, and raised me and my sister in a close-knit home after her own simple wedding years ago. She's thrilled to be part of this, always offering sweet ideas like adding her favorite flowers to the centerpieces. Tom's mom, Linda, is different, assertive, proud, and very involved. She's paying for half the reception, which she reminds us of often, and she loves being seen as the host. We wanted to keep things balanced, so we planned a special processional. Both moms would walk down the aisle with their sons right before the bridal party. It felt like the perfect way to show unity and respect. Susan was touched, and even Linda seemed on board at first. The processional idea came from our shared vision of fairness. In American weddings, it's a big deal to make sure both families feel included, especially when everyone's pitching in. I've seen friends' weddings turn into drama fests over who gets more spotlight, and I swore that wouldn't be us. Tom and I spent hours sketching out the ceremony, imagining Susan and Linda walking arm in arm with their boys, smiling as guests clapped. It was our way of saying, this day is about love, not competition. I felt proud of that plan, like we were building something beautiful together. But wedding planning isn't all smooth sailing. Between juggling work, vendors, and family opinions, I've had moments of pure overwhelm. Susan keeps me grounded, reminding me to breathe and enjoy the process. Linda, though, has a knack for stirring things up. She's always been a bit of a showstopper. Tom says she loves hosting big parties to impress her friends. I didn't mind her flair until it started creeping into our plans. Still, I held on to hope that our processional would set the tone for a drama-free day. Little did I know, Linda had other ideas. Then, everything changed. Just when I thought our wedding plans were set, Linda, my future mother-in-law, threw a curveball that left me reeling. We were at a family dinner, going over final details, when she announced she wouldn't walk down the aisle with my mom, Susan, as we'd planned. Instead, she wanted her own separate entrance, a grand moment where the music pauses. Guests stand again, and all eyes are on her. She called it my moment to shine, as if the wedding was her stage. I sat there, fork frozen midair, shocked at how quickly our vision of unity unraveled. Linda's reasoning made my jaw drop. She said she deserved this spotlight because she's paying for half the reception, a point she's brought up at every planning meeting. She also claimed Susan already had her moment at my sister's wedding 2 years ago, where Mom gave a sweet toast. Linda didn't want to be upstaged by sharing the aisle. I couldn't believe it. Susan's toast was heartfelt, not a performance, and this was our wedding, not a competition. Linda's words felt like she was turning our day into a power struggle, and I hated how it undermined the balance Tom and I worked so hard to create. Looking back, I shouldn't have been surprised. Linda's always loved attention. Tom's told me stories of her hosting lavish parties, making grand speeches to impress her friends. At our engagement party, she insisted on a solo toast that went on so long, guests started whispering. Susan, on the other hand, is the opposite, quiet, content to let others shine. Mom's idea of a big moment is hugging us after the ceremony, not demanding a spotlight. The contrast between them made Linda's request feel even more jarring, like she was trying to outdo Susan instead of celebrating with us. In that moment, I felt a knot in my stomach. Was Linda's financial contribution a free pass to rewrite our ceremony? I didn't think so, but her confidence made me second-guess myself. I kept picturing our guests' friends, family, co-workers watching this theatrical entrance and wondering why one mom got a solo act while the other didn't. It felt wrong, like it would set a divisive tone for the day. I wanted our wedding to be about love and togetherness, not one person stealing the show. As Linda went on about her vision, I stayed quiet. But inside, I was scrambling to figure out how to fix this without starting a family war. After Linda's bombshell, the air in our family felt heavy. My mom, Susan, was the first to break the silence. Over coffee the next day, she admitted she was hurt and confused by Linda's refusal to walk together. "I just wanted to share the moment," she said, her voice soft but shaky. Seeing her so deflated broke my heart. She's always put family first, and now she felt pushed aside. I hugged her tight, promising we'd figure it out. But inside, I was fuming. Susan encouraged me to stay calm, saying she'd support whatever we decided, but her sadness lingered in my mind. Then came Tom, my fiancé. When I told him how upset I was, he sighed and said we should just give Linda her entrance to keep the peace. "She's stubborn. You know that," he said, avoiding my eyes. His need to dodge conflict frustrated me. I wanted us to be a team, not me fighting this battle alone. I pushed back, saying Linda's demand felt like a power grab, but Tom just shrugged, leaving me feeling isolated. That night, I lay awake, wondering if I was making too big a deal out of this, or if Tom's passivity was a red flag. Determined to find a solution, I tried compromising with Linda. I suggested she walk first in the processional, giving her a moment without stealing the show. She shot it down, saying it wasn't grand enough. I offered a special toast at the reception to honor her role. She refused, insisting on her solo entrance with all the theatrics. Each rejection made me angrier. She wasn't budging, and it felt like she wanted to overshadow our day. I started to see her not just as assertive, but as someone who needed to control everything. My biggest worry was how this would look to our guests. I kept imagining Aunt Carol or my college friends watching Linda's dramatic entrance, then whispering, "Why didn't Susan get that?" It seemed weird, divisive, like we were picking favorites. I spent hours online, researching wedding etiquette on blogs and forums. Every site stressed balance and respect for both families, which strengthened my resolve. This wasn't just about Linda's feelings. It was about the tone of our wedding. I wanted love and unity, not a spectacle that screamed favoritism. But with Linda's stubbornness and Tom's hesitance, I felt stuck, like I was the only one fighting for our vision. With no resolution in sight, I felt trapped. Linda's stubbornness, Tom's hesitance, and my mom's hurt left me spinning. Was I overreacting, or was Linda's demand for a grand entrance as Bridezilla-like as it seemed? I couldn't shake the feeling that her plan would turn our wedding into a stage for her ego, not a celebration of our love. Late one night, I poured my thoughts into a Reddit post, typing furiously on my laptop. I asked for advice, desperate to know if guests would find Linda's solo act weird, or if I was making a mountain out of a molehill. I needed an outside perspective to cut through the fog. Writing that post was like unloading a weight. I described the whole mess: Linda's theatrical vision, Susan's quiet pain, Tom's push for peace. I even mentioned past tensions, like Linda's long-winded toast at our engagement party that had guests checking their watches. Reliving those moments made me realize this wasn't just about the processional. It was about control. I felt torn, empathy for Mom, who didn't deserve to be sidelined, frustration with Linda, who seemed to see our wedding as her spotlight, and doubt about my own reaction. Was I being too sensitive, letting wedding stress cloud my judgment? Earlier that day, I'd called my best friend, Jessie, for advice. Over the phone, I spilled everything, my voice cracking as I admitted how alone I felt. Jess listened, then said, "Linda's out of line, but don't let her steal your joy. Stay calm and find a way through." Her words validated my gut, but also urged diplomacy, which felt impossible with Linda's refusals. Jess's support gave me a boost, but I still craved clarity. That's why I turned to Reddit, a place I'd seen strangers offer wisdom on everything from family fights to wedding woes. In America, we lean on these platforms when we're stuck, and I hoped the internet would help me see straight. The stakes felt bigger than one entrance. I wanted our wedding to radiate joy and unity, not drama or division. I kept imagining Susan's face if Linda got her way, or guests gossiping about the uneven treatment. This wasn't just about me. It was about setting the tone for our marriage, showing Tom we could face challenges together. As I hit post and closed my laptop, I felt a mix of hope and nerves. Maybe Reddit would show me how to save our vision without starting a family war. For now, I was stuck, waiting for answers. Soon after hitting post, I dove into the Reddit responses, and wow, what a relief. Commenters called Linda's grand entrance demand excessive and attention-grabbing, with one saying, "Your FMIL sounds like she's planning her own wedding." Their words hit home, validating my gut that this wasn't just me overreacting. Many urged setting firm boundaries, suggesting we stick to our vision of a unified ceremony. Reading those replies felt like a lifeline. I wasn't alone in thinking Linda's plan was out of line. I jotted down my thoughts in my journal that night, reflecting on how much I wanted our wedding to reflect Tom and me, not Linda's ego. It gave me a spark of courage to act. The next morning, I sat Tom down for a serious talk. I showed him the Reddit comments, explaining how Linda's demand could overshadow our day. "We need to be a team on this," I said, my voice steady but pleading. Tom looked uneasy but nodded, admitting he'd been dodging the issue to avoid his mom's temper. In a quiet moment, he squeezed my hand and said, "I see how stressed this makes you. I'll back you up." It wasn't a total win, but his promise to mediate with Linda felt like progress. For the first time, I felt we might face this together. I also called my mom, Susan, to check in. She was still hurt but said, "Do what feels right for you and Tom. I'll support you no matter what." Her selflessness made me even more determined to protect our plan. Bolstered by her and Reddit's support, I decided to confront Linda. Over lunch at her favorite cafe, I took a deep breath and proposed a new idea. Both moms could enter separately, but without paused music or guests standing. Keeping things equal, Linda's face tightened. "That's not special enough," she snapped, insisting on her original plan. Her refusal stung, but I held my ground, saying, "This is about our wedding, not a solo show." The conversation ended tensely, with no agreement. Back home, I felt a mix of empowerment and anxiety. Reddit's encouragement had given me strength to push back, but Linda's resistance made me nervous about family drama so close to the wedding. I worried about Tom wavering or Linda causing a scene. Still, I felt proud for speaking up. Journaling later, I wrote, "This is our day, and I won't let it slip away." I wasn't sure what would happen next, but I knew I had to keep fighting for the wedding we envisioned, even if it meant more tough talks. With the wedding just days away, things finally shifted. After more heated talks, Linda grudgingly agreed to a compromise. Both moms would enter separately, but with equal recognition. No paused music, no standing guests. It wasn't her grand moment, but it kept our vision of fairness intact. Tom stepped up, gently but firmly backing me in a final call with Linda, which gave me hope we were stronger as a team. As the big day approached, I felt a mix of relief and pride. I'd fought for our wedding, and it seemed like we'd won. The wedding day was a dream. Our outdoor venue sparkled under fairy lights, with soft piano notes filling the air. Susan walked down the aisle first, arm in arm with my brother, her eyes misty as she smiled at me. Linda followed with Tom, poised but restrained, and the guests clapped warmly for both. The ceremony felt inclusive, just as we'd hoped, and friends later gushed about how balanced it was. Seeing Susan tear up during our vows and Tom's grin as we said "I do" made every tough moment worth it. I stood there, in my white dress, feeling like we'd created something beautiful. But the reception brought a hiccup. Over champagne, Linda made passive-aggressive comments, like, "Well, I guess everyone got their moment." Her tone dripped with resentment, and it stung. Later, Tom and I slipped away for a quick talk. "She's just sore she didn't get her way," I said. Frustrated, Tom nodded, promising we'd set clearer boundaries going forward. That moment reminded me Linda's need for control wouldn't vanish, and we'd need to stay vigilant. Still, I refused to let her shadow our joy. Dancing with Tom and laughing with friends kept my heart full. Reflecting now, I'm proud I stood up for our vision. Susan's quiet strength, cheering me on despite her own hurt, inspired me to stay firm. Reddit's encouragement echoed in my mind, too. Those strangers' words gave me courage to push back. The wedding taught me I could advocate for what matters, even when it's hard. With Susan, Jess, and now a more united Tom by my side, I felt ready for whatever family drama might come next. For now, I was just happy to be married, basking in the glow of our perfect day. Looking back, that wedding drama feels like a distant memory. 2 years later, Tom and I have carved out a life with firm boundaries around Linda. We keep things cordial, She's invited to holidays and birthdays, but her influence stops there. No more grand demands or surprise power plays. At a recent family barbecue, she was noticeably subdued, sticking to small talk instead of stealing the spotlight. It's not perfect, but it's progress. And I think she's finally accepted we won't bend to her whims. That shift started with the wedding, when we stood our ground, and it's shaped how we handle her now. Meanwhile, my mom, Susan, has become our rock. She's closer to us than ever, popping by for Sunday dinners or babysitting when we need a break. Her warmth fills our home, especially since we're expecting our first child soon, a milestone that's brought us even tighter together. Susan's thrilled to be a grandma, already knitting tiny blankets. Linda, on the other hand, keeps her distance, offering polite congratulations, but little else. It stings sometimes, but I've learned to lean on those who show up, like Susan and our close friends, rather than chase Linda's approval. The wedding conflict was a turning point. It taught me to prioritize our needs and speak up, even when it's tough. I used to shy away from confrontation, worried about rocking the boat, but standing up to Linda showed me I could hold my own. Tom's grown. Too, he's quicker to call out his mom's oversteps, and we tackle challenges as a team. I stumbled across my old Reddit post last month, rereading those comments that gave me courage. Don't let her steal your day. One user wrote, I smiled, amazed at how far we've come. That online community, strangers I'll never meet, helped me find my voice. Now, as we prepare for parenthood, I'm grateful for our resilience. The wedding wasn't just a day. It was a lesson in building the life we want, not the one others expect. We're thriving, surrounded by love from Susan, Jess, and our chosen family. Linda's part of our story, but she doesn't define it. I look forward with hope, rooted in the American dream of independence and balance, knowing we'll face whatever comes with strength and unity. For that, I'm forever thankful